System fractures. Have you guys ever hurt my shins before? Have I ever played my shins for you?
Your shin?
My shins. You never heard my shins?
Do they crack?
No, not anymore. Oh man, okay. Literally, my shins. Why do they do that?
Because there's you train, there's literally just.
Why?
You train them.
I trained them. How did I train them?
Exercise, keep the taekwondo.
More than that, kicking a bunch of stuff, dude. Yeah, a couple of years ago, I was walking down the hallway. I actually have the video on my phone still. I'm walking down the hallway down here, and the student pokes their head out of the room, and they're kind of poking their head out the door, and they start. They go, "Are you Scanlon?" I'm like, "Yeah." Is the frog's asshole watertight? What do you mean? He goes, "Yeah, okay, that means yes." So, are you the guy who kicks poles? And I said, "Yeah, I can kick poles." He's like, "Can you kick this pole?" I've heard about this. So I have videos on my phone of me out there just kicking the crap out of those metal poles. And the students were videoing them, and it was great because by the time I got to the gym that night, my Muay Thai coach, which is where I learned how to do that, the videos have been going all the way, and he just goes, he's like, "Professor," that's what they call me. "Professor, you out there beating the shit out of poles?" And he's showing me the video. I'm like, "That's cool." It gets shared around. Why? Because then when you hear the pole getting kicked, it's like ding, ding, and the student's like, "Oh, oh." Now, did I just like wake up one day and just go, "What would happen if I kicked a pole?" Whack! What would have happened if I kicked the pole? Broken my shin. Yeah, and then I've been. So how did I get to the point where I can do that? Take a guess. What did I do? A lot of times, broke my shin, cracked it. How? Because you practice on things. You practice on little wooden things. You practice on like pads, like heavy bags. You practice on wooden poles, and you get little micro fractures in your shin. When those micro fractures heal, they calcify and they get stronger. And then a little crack, stronger. A little crack, stronger. The biggest crack I've ever had is on my left one. I was just messing around with a friend of mine one day, and I went to kick. And he blocked it with his knee. It hit it just right. It sent a hairline fracture all the way down my shin. And then the very next day, I had a test. Long story, but it's like a long story. It's like a MMA kind of test. And I just wrapped the damn thing up with a whole bunch of gauze and tape and padding. And he went and did a long test the next day. And why? Because what am I going to do? Cancel the test because I hurt myself? I guess I could. I got to come back in 6 months, and then you're 6 months behind on everything. Or you figure out ways to deal with it, which is what I did. So how's it you get to a point where you can kick a shin? I kick a pole. It's not the day you pop out of the womb. It's not one day you wake up and you're like, "Let me try this." You guys ever bang your shin on your bedpost or something like that, and you limp around for days and you go get crutches from one? That's because you hit it hard the first time. If the first time you ever do that is you walk out there and you go, bang, you're going to break it. You'll wrap your shin, literally your shin will break and you'll wrap it around the pole. My point is that if the first time that you ever the first time you ever feel a big stress on your shin is when you go hard on something because you've stayed away from it your whole life, well, yeah, the first time it's going to hurt big. That's where you get like a massive heart attack or something like that because you've never learned how to deal with the little things that happen throughout. You deal with the little fractures, and tell me if you've heard this before, what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. If it doesn't kill you, it has the opportunity to make you stronger, if you'll let it. Now the thing is that, now imagine if instead, my whole life I avoid kicking poles, and then I decide to go over to Thailand and get into a Muay Thai fight. Yeah, exactly. I'm not walking home from that, there's no way. Because I'm not prepared for the little stresses all along the way. You have to endure a bunch of little stresses. Then after a while, now, if I get I would get like a big old bruise on my leg or something like that, and someone will comment and go, "What happened to your leg?" I'll be like, I have no idea. Could have come from anywhere. I get scratches on my face. I get scratches all over my body. It's like, where'd that come from? No idea. Could have come from a bunch of different places. No idea. So what's the point? Well, if you're getting bruised and scratched every day, you don't even notice it anymore. You learn how to deal with it. It has this much impact on your life. I break a finger, and it's just like, that's an inconvenience. So this is all a really, really long way of talking about those little stresses of life. If the first time you ever suffer like a major disappointment or a major thing is when you're older and you've had a pretty relatively charmed life, even if you think you've had it hard, if that one big stress could be the one that takes you out. When my mom died from a heart attack, the doctor was saying that the heart attack she had wasn't like a particularly severe one. It wasn't like a catastrophic heart attack. What it was is that she had never had one before. She died when she was 54 years old from a heart attack. And it was only, the doctor was explaining to me that when you're getting older, he said starting like in your 30s, you'll start having like little minor heart attacks. Nothing like, and he said the stuff that you won't even notice, you'll just be like, whoa, like short of breath all of a sudden, like, you just had a heart attack, a small one. But your heart learns how to deal with it. So that when you have one in your 40s, or so when you have one like in your 50s or your 60s, they don't kill you as much. It has to be a big one to take you out. And so it's those little tiny things. So this is what Nietzsche is getting at when he says, what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. Because he survives it, and he gets hardened by it, and strengthened by it. And strengthened does not mean that all of a sudden you become like calloused to the world. Like quite literally, yeah, you calcify your shins. But when you get hurt in life, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, what's your response to that? Is it to fold your arms and scratch your chin and frown and say, I will never trust anybody ever again. I'm gonna build a wall around me. Yeah, if you're weak, you need a wall, of course. Of course, you need to keep people out if you're weak. If you're strong, you can endure that. And you can let people in anyway. And then you can absorb it. Does that mean that you're not gonna get hurt again? No. Does that mean I'm never gonna break my shins again? No. Of course not. It just means that when those things happen, you're able to deal with it. There's a word for it. Resilience. Resilience, to not give up. Are you gonna suffer downturns in life? Of course. I mean, yeah, if you do anything meaningful, if you do anything worthwhile, But how big is the disappointment? For some people, it doesn't take much because they haven't really suffered so much. But the thing is that if you suffer a little bit and you've never suffered before, it can feel like a lot of it. And if you suffered a bunch of little things all along the way, that's why now it's like, I'm sitting on the mat and I'm like, God damn it. And someone's like, what's up? They call me professor. What's up, professor? I broke my toe. My toe's like this way. They're like, holy crap, you broke your toe. And you can tell who you're talking to. Because some of them will be like, oh damn, yeah, that's like going east. I don't know, maybe it's looking for water. That's what we were joking about. Maybe my toe's looking for water. I'm like, let me follow my toe to see where it takes me. And then you've got the newer people who come through, oh my God, how'd you do that? Oh, like, you'll learn. Stick around here long enough, you'll learn. You'll learn. If you stick around life long enough, you'll learn. You'll learn. But how do you deal with it? The toe's already broken. What am I gonna do? Is it gonna hurt if I walk on it? Yes. Is it gonna hurt if I train on it? Yes. What's the alternative? Don't walk on it? Then that means I'm not gonna go anywhere. Don't train on it? Everybody else is getting better than me if I'm not doing that. I'm not getting better. I'm not getting to where I could be. So I had a thought. Life is suffering. You don't get to choose not to suffer. What are you gonna suffer for? You suffer for having the broken toe? It's already broken. You suffer for having the broken heart? It's already broken. Someone's already broken it. You suffer for the loss of a loved one? It's already happened. And you cannot add a minute to your life by worrying about things. But what you can do is add life to your life by moving forward anyway. That's that stress that happens. I hear from teachers sometimes how stressful this job is as a teacher. Do I seem stressed out to you? No, I love this job. I love this job because it's about how you handle it. I want the absolute incredible best for every single one of you, man. And the hardest part of this job literally isn't even the grading. That's easy to avoid. Remember that performance task from last semester? See it on Jupiter, huh? Grading is easy to avoid. But the hard thing is every year looking at so many of you guys and thinking, crap, like in every single room, there's such intense potential, man. There's such incredible potential. Like in so many of you, like in all of you, really. And yet I know that that's the optimist in me. The realist in me says, but man, so many people are going to turn out to just be like mediocre. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but to know that you could have been something else. That's the hardest part, man. Because, I mean, think about that. Dude, we've gone to the moon as a civilization. Could you have put people on the moon? Why not you? Why not? Someone's going to do it, right? Why not you? You guys think about, I don't know if anybody here wants to go to Harvard, let's just say. If you ever think you can't get into Harvard, maybe you've messed up some stuff now. You can still fix them. I got into Harvard. How hard can that be, dude? This idiot got in. Can you do it? Someone's going to get in. Why not you? Someone's going to open a business. Why not you? Someone's going to be mom or dad of the year. Why not you? Oh, there's too many things in the way. Yeah, those are the obstacles. Those are the little fractures you have to endure to get to where you want to get to. But man, if you can endure those things, you're going to get there, and you're going to be so much stronger for it. And then, I don't know, maybe you'll be able to help somebody else out. Maybe you'll be so strong that you'll be able to absorb those more of those struggles in life for the sake of others, to help them out. Just be careful how much help you give. Because understand, when you help a person, you do save them from some of their own suffering. And that means you're saving them from the opportunity to get stronger. Knowing what to save people from and knowing what to let people wallow in, that's wisdom, I suppose. But, man, I think next period I'm going to talk about responsibility. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms, critiques? You had your hand up like 10 minutes ago, yeah.